After two spectacular events in Europe, the 2003 THQ World Supercross GP has crossed the Atlantic Ocean, traversed North America, and has landed in Southern California for the AMA season opener. Welcome to the Edison International Field of Anaheim. A new chapter of Supercross history begins this evening. The world's top riders, all the factory teams, and a new group of aggressive privateers will take to this track in this, the 30th anniversary of the AMA Supercross Series.
Picture-perfect evening. This is Edison International Field for the THQ World Supercross GP. And hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris along with David Bailey. Well, the big news coming out of Supercross not taking place on the track but off, the announced retirement of the king, Jeremy McGrath.
Well, that was amazing. You know, it was a very emotional moment, and I knew he would have a hard time getting through it. I didn't expect that everybody in the room was going to feel it. I had a lump in my throat, and how fitting for him to make that announcement here where it all started. He got his first win here in 1993. I know that because I won 10 years before that in 1983, and it really launched my career. My career didn't last as long as Jeremy McGrath, but I'm glad I got to see his from beginning to end.
Well, he made that very emotional announcement in front of his friends, the family, and the media gathered, and here's a little bit of what Jeremy had to say.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out, and thanks, everybody who supported me throughout the last 12 years of my career. It's been great.
Well, that's the news off the track. On the track, two events already completed. David Vuillemin on board the Yamaha has picked up a victory, as has Chad Reed. He did his in the second event. A lot of momentum for the guys from Yamaha, but there were a few riders missing from those events.
Right. Well, you know, it was a good decision by Yamaha to get over there and try to get a little bit of a head start on the field, and they did. They got the top two spots in each of those two World Supercross rounds, but they were just a shade off of Carmichael's pace here. Ricky coming in and doing what he did last year, dominating the practice sessions. However, Travis Pastrana, it's rumored that he's injured, but it didn't look like it. In the final practice session, he was a little quicker, edged out Carmichael. And you've got to know that guys like Ezra Lusk and Mike LaRocco, winner of the U.S. Open, they're going to be there as well. The field for the 250 class is closer than it's ever been.
Well, we don't make guarantees very often here, but we will make one tonight. It should be a very exciting evening of racing. For more on that, let's check in with Cameron Steele, who's down on the track.
Well, you think you're ready for Supercross at home? Here in Anaheim, we have a capacity crowd. In fact, if you wanted a ticket to the show, you had to get a week to it because it is a sellout. Everybody here is ramped up and ready to go. I can't tell you how great it's going to be. I'm looking forward to the first race, and I don't think I'm the only one. So let's get right to it. Back up to you guys from the crowd here in Edison Field.
It's now time to take a look at our THQ track map.
Well, here's the first configuration we're going to see of the three Anaheims that are scheduled for the series. Great layout for left-hand first corner into a rhythm section. That takes you into the first big triple jump. There's a quadruple after that, but so far they've only been able to triple it. More rhythm sections after that. And across the starting line, just three huge tabletops. The first one's the highest, the most technical section I've seen in a long time. That takes you into the next triple and on to the most taxing on your body. The two whoop sections back to back to take you up to the finish line jump. Those are going to be where we see a lot of the passing.
Now set for 250 heat number 1, and I'll tell you what, if you're on Team Yamaha, David, this one is loaded with your teammates.
I know. I don't think the Yamaha guys really like that. You see this sign is sideways, starter getting out of the way.
Well, this is what they've turned out for, and look at this. To the front of the pack goes number 12 on board the Yamaha. That is David Vuillemin.
Joaquin Rodriguez on the KTM, number 108. He's right in there. It's his first year in the United States, in Portugal. Saw him ride a 125 in Paris not long ago. This kid's very impressive. This is what Vuillemin needed. He didn't get the best starts last year. Terrible, as a matter of fact. And he struggled a little bit in Geneva. They fixed it. He got good starts along with his teammate Chad Reed in the second round in Holland, and a good one here.
Well, Chad Reed, his teammate, has settled into third place. Right behind Vuillemin, though, as you pointed out, number 108, Joaquin Rodriguez. We saw him put on a tremendous performance in the first two GP stops over in Europe, Geneva, Switzerland, and, of course, Arnhem, Holland. So this is a kid certainly to be reckoned with. But right now, David Vuillemin is running away. Here's Chad Reed trying to get in the
not mess around. He's a lot like Stewart in the 125 class. He's all over you, making you nervous. And he wants to get after Vuillemin before he's too far gone. And LaRocco sitting clear back in 6th or 7th place right now. I think he just moved up a spot. Now he's still in 7th. He's just entering the corner those guys came out of, so he's got a long ways to go if he wants to try to win this heat race.
Chad Reed all over the back of Joaquin Rodriguez. There you see a glance. Chad Reed trying to close the door, and he does. So now David Vuillemin is in first, Chad Reed in second. Joaquin Rodriguez now slips to 3rd place. And I tell you what, having those 2 Yamaha guys out in front is a dangerous thing. You do not want to let them get out of your sight.
Well, I don't know that Chad and David have problems with each other, but they're not friends, let's just say. So, of course, I've seen them at the Yamaha track, and they play little games with each other and stuff. It's all in fun, but now we're at racing, so if Chad was able to make up the gap and get up to David, I'm anxious to see how they would treat this.
We'll be back with more of the 2003 THQ World Supercross GP from Anaheim, California. More of 250 heat number 1 after this. The THQ World Supercross GP is being brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By THQ's MX Superfly, featuring Ricky Carmichael, now available on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters.
Tonight on ESPN.
Welcome back to the THQ World Supercross GP. Chad Reed, your leader in this heat number 1 of the 250 class. David Vuillemin got the whole shot. Reed took it back. The 2000 Australia Supercross champion. They call him Skippy, and right now he is just skipping through this very technical course here at Edison International Field. It is Reed, Vuillemin, Ferry, Byrne, LaRocco, and Fonseca and Rodriguez now battling for that last transfer spot.
It looks to me like Vuillemin just decided, okay, I saw what you've done, now I'm going to make a run at you. You may get close on this final lap, and you know what? We're not seeing a lot of Tim Ferry. You know why? Because he's not even in the same zone now. These guys have left 3rd place. Unbelievable the pace these guys are running.
This is the final lap for at least Vuillemin and Reed. The rest of the pack almost a full lap down as they are just they're on the other side of the track. It's amazing.
Yeah, actually, David definitely decided to lay up on this one and just take his 2nd place. It looked like when he went through the whoop sections, he had a great run at him. And when I saw the white flag come out, I thought maybe he's going to make one last ditch effort to keep Chad honest, but he's just taking notes for the main event. Nice ride by Chad.
Well, he didn't get the whole shot, but Chad Reed looking very good. Remember, the top 6 move on, and these lap times have been amazing. Reed at 57.2, Vuillemin at 58.15. But this is the final lap. 2 more turns, and Chad Reed will claim the Heat 1 victory. Your winner, Chad Reed, on board the Yamaha, winning Heat number 1 in the 250 class. As we take a look at your Honda Heat 1 official results, it is Chad Reed getting the victory, followed by teammate David Vuillemin. Then it's Timmy Ferry, Mike LaRocco, Byrne, and Ernesto Fonseca rounding out your top 6. Right now, let's go down to Cameron Steele.
Well, guys, check this out. Picking up right where he left off. We saw you last in Arnhem, Holland. Taking the win there, taking the Heat win here. You got to be pretty happy with that.
Cameron, everything's just coming together. I'm having so much fun. You know, I'm back in America, and I've been doing a lot of riding, and the weather's great, so we're just out there putting laps together, and, you know, everybody's behind me, Potts Unlimited and Thor, Yamaha, Bridgestone. We're all just having such a great time, and they're all a bunch of team, and hopefully we got one more, and I really want to do it for them.
David Vuillemin looked like he almost pulled over for you. Is it just a courtesy teammate thing?
You know, I think David knew that I had the line there, and he just pretty much just let me by, so David's a great competitor, and I think he's just saving some energy, and hey, we'll see what he's got.
All right, we'll see you a little bit later.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you, Cameron.
It's time now for Suzuki's On Track.
Jeremy McGrath's retirement shocked the entire industry this week. He's an icon of the sport, and he's carried Supercross on his back from the beginning. Now here sits his bike and McGrath's racing rig, and there's no Jeremy.
Jeremy is what brought everybody here to Supercross, and, you know, I was touched, I almost cried, and I had a couple cheers, but, you know, I guess it was great for him to retire, and, you know, if that's his decision, and that's what he feels comfortable with, that's what is important.
I think that was a very wise decision for him to do that, even though I'm sure it was very hard. It was a very hard decision, because he loves to ride, and he must kill not to be able to ride.
It makes you look at things differently. I spent most of my career trying to beat him, and now he's not even going to be out there, so it's going to be different.
He brought a lot to it, changed it all, and got a lot more opportunities for guys like me, and just broadened it, I guess you could say.
Jeremy McGrath has been the greatest asset our sport has ever known, and, you know, to see him go for so long in our sport, I mean, 7 championships, that's unheard of. It's just really amazing what he's been able to accomplish.
It's really sad that I'll never be able to race him, and, you know, he's always been the person I looked up to, so we're going to definitely miss him.
As we look at our starting grid for heat number 2 of the 250cc class, the name that jumps right at you, Ricky Carmichael, the defending champion, on board that Honda. I don't know if there's really any reason to doubt that he's not going to do it again. 250, heat number 2 on the line. The card is up in the air. Ricky Carmichael set to defend that title. Anaheim has not been the best to him, as it has been to other riders, and we'll see what he can pull up tonight. This is heat 2. Ricky looking for a great start. Doesn't get it. Pastrana. Oh, we've got a major pileup in the back of the pack. 174, 426, and 37 all going down. But out in front, it is number 40, who is our leader, James Pavoni Jr. Not anymore. It was Tortelli that jumped out of there. Look at that. I got he and Travis mixed up. Tortelli got out, sort of edged Carmichael, but here's Ricky right there on his tail. That first turn crash, Todd, actually went out into the racetrack, and the guys were, the whole race was forced to roll the first triple. Never seen that. So your leader, Sebastien Tortelli out of Temecula, California, as they come down. Number 4, Ricky Carmichael with a textbook block pass, slides into first place to the roar of the approval. Saw that coming. You give Ricky a... And there goes Travis right past him as well. So now you got Pastrana, who, I don't know. I'm not even sure if he knows how he feels right now. He's been through quite a bit, but he can ride injured is better than anybody I've ever seen. Well, the capacity crowd here at Edison International Field are loving this. 2 of the biggest stars of the sport. Ricky Carmichael out in front in heat number 2 of the 250 class. Right behind him, Travis Pastrana, a man who is about as creative as Van Gogh on a canvas. He'll do the same thing on the bike. Ricky with a slight bobble right there. Pastrana unable to take advantage of it. Travis is not going to let go of him. He's going to stay on his tail or pass him. There's a mistake by Ricky. Just got a little off balance right there. Normally he'd be on the power already. Look at Travis. Oh, he's almost able to pull off the block pass. No contact made, and Ricky squirts right past him. We'll be back to the exciting finish of heat number 2 of the 250 cc's when we return to Anaheim, California.
On ESPN.
Well, Travis's lap time, 57.92. That is extremely fast. And here he comes again, making a run. And this time he gets it done. Travis Pastrana pulls off what many have never been able to think about doing. He passes Ricky Carmichael. And there you go. Carmichael and Pastrana get together. Pastrana's down, Carmichael gone. And the boos come back. This happened last year in Indianapolis when Ricky gave Travis a little nudge. That time it was sort of Travis's fault a little bit. This time Ricky went in there and gave him a nudge and pretty much sent him down.
And with just 2 laps to go, Ricky Carmichael is throwing down, and Pastrana has pulled off the track.
Yeah, he'll go to the semi. He'll regroup for that, but I think he might have damaged the bike a little bit, and there was no point in staying out there. Carmichael, man, you got to hand it to him. You know, he knew it was coming. If Travis was going to get close enough, the crowd told him that. And Pastrana made a good, clean block pass at the end of the whoops, but most riders would be like, okay, well, you know, it was going to happen sooner or later. It finally happened. Now I'll see if I can learn something from him. Carmichael's like, no, I don't want to learn anything from Travis. I want to pass him right back, and he did. And he kind of stopped in Travis's line. Travis was like, you know what, I'm not going to sit here. So he tried to take off, and then they got tangled. I thought Ricky was going to get tangled in it as well.
Well, let's recap really quickly. On the final lap, it's Carmichael, Tortelli, Roncada, and Tedesco in the transfer positions as Ricky Carmichael airs it out. Tortelli right behind him, Roncada running in third, and Ivan Tedesco running in fourth. Langston on the outside looking in, as is Johnson, Lusk, and Clark.
All right, this crowd, when Ricky crosses the finish line, he's got a couple corners to go. The little corkscrew under. Here he comes under the tunnel. They are not happy with this kid. I don't know if he did anything that wrong, but they didn't like it. Listen to this.
So Ricky Carmichael crosses the finish line. He is your winner, 250, heat number 2. And I think we hear a mixture of boos and cheers. As we take a look at our Suzuki Heat 2 official results, Carmichael is your winner, followed by Tortelli, Roncada, Tedesco, Langston, and Johnson. With that, let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Well, I'm here on the podium with heat number 2 winner, Ricky Carmichael. Now, Ricky, if you want to go racing and take a championship, you got to fight the champion. We saw Travis Pastrana out there trying to do battle with you. He went down. It's a part of racing. Am I right?
Yeah, he's riding good, and, you know, he stuck it in there on me a couple times, and I went back and tried to pass him back, and when I got in front of him, he, like, gassed it and ran into the back of my tire, you know. Like, when he passed me over there, I let off and made sure he was clean in front of me. And nothing happened. He just got a little over anxious, but he was riding good. You know, it was a fun race, and no big deal. Just going to go try to do something in the main.
Congratulations on the moto win. We'll see you in the main event.
All right, thanks.
All right.
It's time now for our Thor Rider Profile.
Jeremy McGrath is the winningest rider in Supercross history. 7 Supercross titles, 72 Supercross 250 main event wins. Jeremy, coming into it, did you ever fathom it would get to that point?
There's no doubt. Most definitely I didn't think that. I mean, when I was younger and wanted to race Supercross, I wanted to just ride the tracks. To win 72 times is, I still don't really get it. So it's quite a feeling.
Jeremy, what's your best memory in Supercross in your whole career, 12 years as a pro?
I mean, my first championship always stands out. It's kind of like your first love, you know? It's like, it's always really going to stand out. My first win here in Anaheim, my first championship.
What will you miss most?
I think most of all, I'm going to miss riding the track. I think that's fun. I mean, practicing on the track is a whole lot of fun. Of course, I'm going to miss the fans. I mean, they've been a really inspirational, big part of my career. And I mean, I don't think ever the adrenaline will go away when the start is about to happen, even if I'm not on the line.
Why did you decide now, of any time, to just say, hey, this is it?
A lot of people might be wondering why, why did he do that on such short notice, or why now? Why not a farewell riding series tour? I always told myself when the day comes that I have to think about these things before I have any bit of hesitation or not confident in the least bit or 100% focused and motivated to be out there, then it's time to step back. When I don't feel motivated to go out there and be the best every Saturday night, and I think it's only fair that I don't take all my sponsors down that same road.
Will we ever see you race again?
I would have to say you're not going to see me race AMA professional race again. I don't want to be out there at that level on Saturdays, but I'm going to definitely ride a lot, and I'm going to race races probably like Mammoth and Day in the Dirt and do all the fun stuff that I pretty much didn't get the chance to do while I was serious racing.
So what now?
What now? I don't know. I mean, I'm taking it day by day. I really see myself as resting and taking a break. I'm not in a hurry to jump into something. Obviously, we want to continue with the team. I mean, I plan on being at all the Supercross races. I plan on doing a parade lap on my KTM, but I'm going to make sure that I'm there and can be approached and, you know, give autographs or talk to the people who may have missed me over the years.
It's time now for our Honda flashback as we go back to 2002, Edison International Field in Anaheim, California. Ricky Carmichael with high hopes of getting another title and walking away with this thing, but a horrific crash pretty much end his night. Mike LaRocco on board his Honda looked very good, rode very hard, but tonight was not the night for the Rock. It would go to David Vuillemin on board the Yamaha, who claimed the victory. Next up for the THQ Supercross GP, we head to Bankland Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona.
Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
This is Edison International Field in the city of Anaheim. We are south of Los Angeles, north of San Diego, 5 minutes from Disneyland, and 30 minutes from the beaches of Southern California. I'm Todd Harris, joined by former Supercross champion David Bailey. Our qualifying highlights from the 250 semi number 1. Mike Brown gets a great start and shuts the door on Joaquin Rodriguez. Welcome to America. But Brown would receive the same treatment from Ernesto Fonseca, who went on to win semi number 1. In semi number 2, it was the Travis Pastrana show, and he showed why he was an X Games champion. Ryan Clark took us on board and took us for a great ride as he battled South African Grant Langston. But in the end, it was Travis Pastrana picking up the Semi-2 victory. It all then came down to the last chance qualifiers. A pack of hungry riders all battling for 2 spots. Out in front, the man from Georgia on board the Kawasaki, Ezra Lusk, would take the victory. But the most exciting action took place on the final turn, when Heath Voss and Nick Way got tangled up. Victory to Heath Voss. And those are your Nissan qualifying results. We have come to the main event. It is now time for the 250 main event Suzuki starting grid. Names like Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael, David Vuillemin, Sebastien Tortelli, and Jimmy Ferry headline this star-studded event. Right now, let's check in with Cameron Field.
Well, the 250s are loading the gate right now, and I'm out here on the track at Edison Field. I'm standing on top of the first of the step-downs. You step up, then you step off, and off again. Sure, you want to be a Supercross racer? Bring your timing, because you're going to need it. 20 laps in the main event. You got to nail it every single time. Oh, yeah, if you don't like to step off, you can go the other way. But that way, you got to double 2 tabletops. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Well, these guys do it for a living, and they do it so well, I think we should just sit back and watch them ride.
Well, this is it, the main event for the 250cc's. The defending overall champion, Ricky Carmichael. Anaheim has not been a kind place to him. Last year, the man who owned this race, David Vuillemin, on board the Yamaha, he certainly would like to have a deja vu.
And they're starting right next to each other.
Chad Reed with his pick on the starting line, and he had the fastest qualifying heat.
With 6 seconds faster, Todd, than Carmichael's heat, and that battle he had with Pastrana. Looked like those guys were flying. But it was actually Chad Reed who was more consistent. So that's pretty amazing. You see those ruts in front of the starting gate? Those are about 4 or 5 inches deep. Throughout the night, they get a little deeper, and the riders are not allowed to go in front of the starting gate and mess with that at all. They can do whatever they want behind the gate, but out there, they got to leave it alone and deal with what's there.
Well, the capacity crowd here at Edison International Field of Anaheim has turned out for this. 250 main, Ricky Carmichael, the defending overall champion, and the card has gone sideways, folks. Strap in and hold on.
Mike Brown
Unbelievable. Mike Brown, Chad Reed on his outside, and see if Chad Reed tries to take it back. Reed goes for the style points. First of all, look how hot he's coming in there. Just like that, the kid from down under, number 22, Chad Reed, on board the Yamaha, moves into the lead.
Ryan Clark buried in the pack. You can see Tim Ferry right ahead of us. Grant Langston over to the right. A terrible start for Carmichael and Vuillemin. They're trying to work their way up through the pack. Not making a lot of progress.
On board with Ryan Clark, Grant Langston right in front of him. Travis Pastrana back in 10th, so he's got his work out for him. And there's Ricky Carmichael, number 4, working through that whoop section. We saw him earlier in the day having problems there, and Ricky Carmichael currently trying to make a move, and he is just not getting the job done, sitting back in 8th place.
There's plenty of time. Somewhere during the lap, I took my eyes off of it. Oh, Carmichael gets a little bit of block passing done to him. Roncada.
Oh, and Carmichael taking up high, and Roncada gets it back.
Roncada's still got a little bit to pay Carmichael back from last year during the Outdoor Nationals. Those guys obviously got some unfinished business. Roncada not liking the pass that Carmichael put on him, but while all that's going on, look at Reed that Reed now has. The fastest qualifier, the quickest lap so far tonight, the lead now, and pulling away.
Let's check in with Cameron Steele.
Well, guys, I'm down here with Dave Dye, Chad Reed's mechanic. Everybody's talking about Chad's speed. Everybody knows he likes the battle. Were you surprised he just came right out with the hole shot?
No, not at all. He's hungry. He wants to win. He's got confidence coming from Europe. This is what he wants. This is what he dreams of.
Do you think there's anybody that can catch him? I mean, tons of fast guys on the course. Travis Pastrana's not far away. You guys confident he can hold it straight through?
Yeah, of course. He's just going to put his head down and go. He's going to go now.
Thanks, Dave.
And thank you, Cameron.
Crowd is going nuts. They want Pastrana to get up there and battle. Good luck getting around LaRocco. Last time these guys got together, LaRocco was done for the season, and Travis dropped out not too long after that. They got together in Minneapolis. It was an accident, but it broke LaRocco's wrist, and here they are again.
Well, Ricky Carmichael having his problems. Let's look at it one more time. Is that payback?
No, he got a little bit mixed up with trying to get up there and stay with Roncada. So I think that's what happened to Vuillemin. They were together in the first lap, and Vuillemin got shuffled to dead last. He's working his way up, and then Carmichael goes down. So the two guys that you would think coming into this event, Carmichael and Vuillemin. Vuillemin had this championship last year until he hurt his shoulder. Carmichael won it. Neither one of them are in contention. Last year you thought there was going to be McGrath and Carmichael.
And Carmichael's down again in the corner. Ricky Carmichael down for the second time.
That time it looked like he hit the back tire of Vuillemin.
And I can't believe I'm even saying this. In a main event, Ricky Carmichael is in dead last.
Well, a couple laps ago it was Vuillemin in dead last. So the two players, yeah, it was the back tire of Vuillemin. So Ricky is all flustered right now. And you know what? I have a feeling that they're coming out not getting the best start and have his focus be shifted a little bit, then having Roncada mess with him some. Just totally messed with his head tonight, and on top of the booing that he already got. This entire crowd stood up and booed him when he and Pastrana got together, and it really just took him out of the rhythm that he established in practice.
Well, right now, Ricky Carmichael having his hands full with Steve Boniface in the back of the pack, but your leader, Chad Reed, 20 years of age out of Curry, Australia, 4th-year pro. This is his U.S. debut in the 250 CC class. He's the 2000 Australian Supercross champion. What more can you say about him? I hate to say it that I looked in my crystal ball and saw this, but when this kid came over to Europe, he showed me something. He just has the will to win, and I think he's got the will and the wit to go head-to-head with a Ricky Carmichael.
Well, he's fast, no question about that. There's Pastrana and Tortelli going back and forth. I'm impressed with Tortelli. I didn't think he really had the speed. You know, I knew he could get up front and run there a little while and get good starts, but I didn't think he was going to be able to get up there and run this kind of a pace. So right now, sitting in third, things are looking good. Going back to Reed, you know, this guy is, you can see it in his eyes. And he's pretty cocky, too, you know. Yep. He talks about, hey, I'm here to win. I'm not here messing around.
Mike LaRocco goes down in the worst spot.
No.
He's got a complete pileup. Travis Pastrana hits him. He is down, and he is not getting up quickly.
I cannot believe that it was Travis, and it was not of his fault. It was completely a blind deal.
On board Ryan Clark, he can get the best shot of the melee right there as he's trying to get his bike turned around. But you've got almost 5 riders piled up in there.
Unfortunately, they all look to be okay, but Travis Pastrana looks to have taken the worst of that brunt.
But didn't I just say, it was the last time LaRocco and Travis got together. This is pretty much what it looked like, except LaRocco's wrist was broken. At that time, Travis was completely committed to a blind jump.
Well, meanwhile, your leader out in front, let's look at it one more time. Here's Mike LaRocco getting squirrely, goes in nose first and just plunges.
Now look, he's completely hidden. Now watch Travis. He doesn't know. Right into him.
Oh!
And then Michael Byrne plows into him. And then Ivan Tedesco, number 52.
Let's look at it one more time. And we talked about how deep these whoops are. LaRocco's down. Oh. And, you know, there's nothing Travis could have done right there.
No, that was just a weird deal. What a strange night.
Well, a strange night continues in Anaheim. We'll have more of the 250 main after this.
Satellite provider.
In the 250 main event, it was number 3, Mike Brown, taking the SXGP.com Hole Shot Award. Brown aboard the Team Pro Circuit Chevy Truck, Kawasaki. Welcome back to Anaheim, California. This is the season opener on the AMA Tour in the 2003 THQ World Supercross GP. Your leader, Chad Reed from Australia, didn't get the whole shot, didn't need to, because one lap into it, he is gone. Chad Reed says, if I don't win, I know one of my teammates will. And right now, he has nothing to worry about because he has almost an 18-second lead on anyone else. We've seen accidents by Ricky Carmichael going down twice. Mike LaRocco goes down, and who was there to run into him? No fault of Travis Pastrana's, but he was the man that ran into him. Ricky Carmichael way back in the pack, sitting in 8th right now. And Ferry and Roncada now doing some battling. So, David, Anaheim continues to be a strange place for a lot of these riders.
It is weird. Carmichael, that last lap, was sitting in 11th and worked his way all the way. He passed 3 riders in the whoop section, and the next rider ahead of him is David Vuillemin. So they are together, but nowhere near the lead. And I talked about Reed being a little bit cocky, and I want to finish that thought. So much is happening. I got interrupted, but I'll tell you what. Oh, no, Langston's down. That doesn't look good.
Grant Langston, 111 out of South Africa on the KTM, and he is not getting up quickly. It looks like Grant Langston may be done for the evening. And that will be unfortunate because he had a great run over in Europe.
Now
Travis Pastrana
went down again. Once you lose your focus out there, it's over. I mean, it's just over. And right now, I'm looking at the way Ricky and Vuillemin are riding.
Well, look at his helmet.
And they're just going, you know what a weird night. Let's just get through this thing in one piece, let Reed have it, and go back and try it next week.
Right now, let's go down to the track with Cameron Steele, who's standing by with Travis Pastrana.
It looked like he just came over a blind jump and Mike LaRocco was laying there.
I always find Mike, always. And I don't know, I landed, popped my knee out again. I really wanted to be in the hunt. But hey, that's racing, and we'll get some MRIs done. And my team has been working so hard. And the only thing I didn't want to do is DNF. I did it.
You've been doing some awesome racing. I hope to see you in Phoenix, Trav.
I have the speed, the bike's awesome, and good. Go watch the race. It's a good one.
And thank you, Cameron. Ferry trying to make a run at Sebastien Tortelli right now.
Well, here's what I'm looking at, okay? You got the guys that decided to go to the World Supercross rounds in Europe and the guys that didn't. The guys that did are running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. You know, I mean, it made a difference to go over there and get a head start. And Ferry makes a nice block pass right there. So now Yamaha running 1 and 2. Tortelli having a great race. Starting out the season on the podium. He has a new trainer, and Rick Johnson. And it's making a difference. I haven't seen Tortelli look this solid. Of course, you got to look at the fact that we're missing Vuillemin and Carmichael and Lusk and Pastrana and LaRocco. A lot of guys not having a good night, but still, Tortelli is there to take advantage of it. And I'm going to go back to Reed again. Reed is misinterpreted a little bit by a lot of people. I've been around him enough to know that, yeah, he is cocky. He's got just enough of it to play some head games and all that stuff. But he's really a pretty good guy. He's just sure of himself. And the kind of confidence that he shows most of the time, I think is great. You have to have that if you plan on winning races.
Well, I couldn't agree more. We saw in practice the mind games that are being played out there, and I think he's mentally got to be tough enough. The fastest time that's been turned in thus far by Chad Reed of 57.2. The next fastest Ricky Carmichael with a 58.4. Unfortunately for Ricky, he currently sits in 7th place. We'll step aside right now, catch our breath, come back for the conclusion of the 250 main. This is the AMA season opener from Anaheim, California. More after this. The end. Back to Anaheim, California for the 2003 THQ World Supercross GP, the AMA season opener. Your leader in the 250 main, it has been all Chad Reed from Australia. Well, as we take a look at our Honda interval right now, Chad Reed all but gone with a 21-second lead. 21 seconds behind him is Tim Ferry, and then Ricky Carmichael is about 4.5 seconds behind Timmy Ferry in third, trying to close that gap. Amazingly, Mike LaRocco still up and riding, but Chad Reed has run just an absolutely flawless race, and as David Bailey pointed out, he will sleep well tonight if this result holds up, because it'll be a second win in a row as he picked up victory in Arnhem.
Now, Carmichael's still got a shot at second. 6 laps to go. He's got to get around Ferry, and he's got him in his sights. Vuillemin has got Tortelli in his sights. It's all starting to close in. These last 6 laps, Todd, you're so tired.
Yep.
You know, you land off a jump a little bit hard, and the sweat splatters all over the lens on the inside of your goggles, and there's no way you're going to wipe that off. Tear-offs don't fix that. So you're looking through like a leaking diving mask for the last 6 laps, trying to negotiate the track at its worst. Man, that's just something else, the kind of climb that Chad Reed has had to where he's sitting right now. Last year, coming over from Australia, no one really knowing much about him. I heard good things about him from some people that were watching him practice out at the Yamaha track, going, hey, this guy, keep your eyes on him, man. He's got that eye of the tiger, and he's pretty confident. He's aggressive all the time, and to see what he did in the 125 East last year, this guy he's for real, for sure. This is not a fluke, man. He deserves to win races, and now that he has won one, I won here, as a matter of fact, 20 years ago. Well, 20 years ago, and after that, the wins came a lot easier, because when I would visualize the necessary things in my race prep, you know, I didn't have to lie to myself. I'm going, hey, I know what it feels like to win, and now Chad knows.
Well, look at this. Ricky Carmichael closing in on the Yamaha rider, Tim Ferry. And I'll tell you what, this will be one of the most masterful salvages if Ricky Carmichael can slide into second.
Man, it's going to look like a bloopers thing. If you look at the first half of his race, he's spending so much time on the ground and jerking around with Roncada a little bit, or getting jerked around. Who knows what really went on. I don't know who started that one, but I think that started last year. Carmichael wins that battle again.
Well, what's interesting about Chad Reed is he's number 22. You take away one of those 2s, and does he remind you of someone? Oh, look at that. Ricky
Carmichael just diving to the inside of Ferry and opening up a gap right away. And, you know, when you just brought that up, yeah, you take a 2 off of that bike, and it looks a lot like McGrath. And his style, he holds his head up a bit straighter than McGrath used to, but still, he's kind of a mixture of Jeremy McGrath and Ricky Carmichael. Here comes Ricky's pass. Ferry's just going to double that, not sure why. And just gave it to Ricky Carmichael right there, who's steering. He's pulling clear now of Ferry, so second is definitely within his grasp. But first place, man, he needs a telescope to get his sights set on Chad Reed. He's clear over there by the mechanics area now.
It's wishful thinking, but we go to what could have been. And if Ricky had not fallen twice, and he was in a battle right now with Chad Reed, maybe one of the best racers we'll see all year. That's not to be, because as you pointed out, Chad Reed is all but gone. As we go back to victories, a lot of great riders have made a name for themselves and really launched their careers here in Anaheim. David Bailey back in 1986 on January 18th. Then he did it again on January 29th back in 1983. And for Jeremy McGrath, this is really the place where he got things started. Is this the coming out party for Chad Reed?
Absolutely. You could see it coming. You know, I wasn't sure he was going to come out quite this strong right off the bat, but, man, that start, you see how important that is. I mean, Ricky's obviously fast enough, you know, and Vuillemin's fast enough, but they were so far back in the pack, they really couldn't make anything happen. And Ricky salvaging a little bit more than Vuillemin was able to. Well, totally different personalities there. Vuillemin a little bit more conservative, going his long season. Ricky going, I got to win everything.
Yeah.
He'll be mad tonight.
Yep.
That he didn't win. Sometimes you got to take a second or a third and realize that as long as it's keeping you on track and in one piece for the title, that sometimes you got to settle. Ricky he'd never settle.
Tim Ferry currently sitting in third place, and you bring up a good point about Ricky Carmichael. He crashed last year, broke his hand, and finished last. And as we come to the finish line, what's amazing is Chad Reed just continues to motor, and this is the final lap for the Australian.
Now here's an idea for you. He's getting ready to lap Stephane Roncada. And Stephane was up there. He was up there ahead of Ricky. And of course, he didn't get the start Chad had, but you know, when you start getting involved and trying to, and Ricky was doing it too. I'm not just picking on Stephane. I know I've picked on him before, but you know, it just doesn't pay to ride like that. I mean, look at what happened to his race now. His focus is completely gone, and he's getting lapped. Chad just lap after lap, riding beautiful.
Yeah, it's been amazing. He has been absolutely flawless. He keeps this together, and we are going to have one exciting year here on the 2003 THQ World Supercross GP.
You know what I find weird is that when Chad went across the finish line the last time, they didn't have the white flag out, so he may think, wait a minute.
Here we go, your winner, number 22 on board the Yamaha, Chad Reed, picks up his second victory and an amazing performance from start to finish. I think Chad Reed is so very happy right now, making his debut on American soil, and what a way to do it with a victory. And I think the fans really appreciate the performance he turned in tonight. Ricky Carmichael, you can't say enough about this young man. At one point in this race, he was dead last on the deck twice. He comes back to get second place. Tim Ferry rode very solid. He gets third. Wow. Folks, you got your money's worth here in Anaheim. The place always seems to turn in some great performances. And we'll be right back. TVs and scooters. And welcome back to Anaheim, California, Edison International Field. It is now time for the Honda main official results in the 250 class. Your winner, Chad Reed, followed by Ricky Carmichael, Tim Ferry, David Vuillemin, and Sebastien Tortelli. Right now, let's go down to Cameron Steele.
After the last round of the THQ World Supercross GP, where Chad Reed won, there were some doubters that said, well, we'll wait and see when he gets the AMA starter here in Anaheim. And Chad, I guess you pretty much just silenced everybody, didn't you?
You know, I think this is the best answer, Cameron. Lately, I've just been hearing so much talk, you know. Maybe I'm the one that can, you know, challenge Ricky or the other guys. And, you know, I'm here, and I just love being here, and I just want to win. And, you know, I don't really care too much about the talk. So come here and to just get a good start and take off like that was really fun. And coming into this race, you know, when I heard that Jeremy was retiring, I was like, damn, you know, Jeremy won his first race at Anaheim. I want to win my first race there. He was my all-time idol, and it's a shame he's gone, but, you know, he's the real reason that I'm here. You know, he gave me somebody to look at, and he's a great champion, and I want to be like him. And, you know, I won my first race at Anaheim. I'm pumped.
Well, you're definitely walking the walk, winning tonight. Were you aware of the carnage behind you, what was going on? You got a great start, no fluke winning here. Ricky had a bad start and then a crash, but then Travis and Mike LaRocco were piled up on each other. Did you have any idea what was happening back there?
I had no idea. I just needed a good start and just ride my own race. And I was so nervous. I was like riding and just, you know, everything with the bike. You know, I would hear something. I'm like, oh, okay, don't go out now. And, you know, it's just, I was so nervous. So I think it's going to be awesome to get that first one out of the way. But, you know, there's a bunch of people that I want to thank. I want to thank Yamaha, Thor, Pass Unlimited, Bridgestone, Scott, just everybody for pitching in, giving me great help. And, you know, we got one, and Ricky crashed. We've got to beat him when he doesn't crash. So that's the next plan.
All right, congratulations, Chad Reed, your champion. We'll see you all in Phoenix, and we'll see you riding the dirt bike.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Now let's take a look at our Honda Series standings. Chad Reed out in front, Carmichael in second, Vuillemin in third, Tortelli in fourth, and Timmy Ferry in fifth. Let's go back down to the track
and Cameron Steele.
Well, for sure, this guy hates second place. Ricky Carmichael, a little bit of a tough night for you.
Yeah, it was a tough night. You know, I fell twice, went off the track, and had to play catch-up. My Honda was awesome, and you know, when you get bad starts like that, you know, your percentage rate goes up of having bad luck, and that's exactly what happened. You know, I got back there with everyone and going which way, and didn't get the win.
Well, last year you finished really poorly. I mean, I think it was 20th place, a DNF in the main event. This year you salvaged a second place, so you've got to feel pretty confident about this points championship with the AMA series.
Yeah, I think I would have won if I would have got the, you know, a good start. I felt good, my bike was good, and I got a lot of experience out here, and I'm not hell-bent on everyone going 20 laps. You know, I have to see it yet, but, you know, hey, hats off to Chad, but I'm going to be fighting back next weekend, that's for sure.
Great job. We'll see you at Phoenix, Ricky.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Job well done as we look at our THQ World Supercross GP standings. Next stop, Bankworth Ballpark, Phoenix, Arizona is the location. On behalf of Jamie Little and Cameron Steele, as well as David Bailey, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Edison International Field in Anaheim, California. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader.
Your email question.